This is the second installment on the J.R. Buddy Bolin history section. Buddy Bolin was quite wealthy. He did not believe in banks. He did not put his money in banks. Mama said that he always kept a big old trunk in a certain place in the hall there, and he would go in it and take out money when he needed it. Said she would see it and said his trunk was filled with money. So he kept his money to himself. Also, I learned about Buddy Bolin that when he would start the town, he'd just start out of the field just like he looked, and he'd be dirty and ragged and everything. And Grandma Bolin, Elizabeth, she would say, "Oh man, you need to get cleaned up to go to town and look decent." He'd jingle his pockets and say, "Old lady, I got money in my pockets, so I don't need anything else. That's all they're interested in there in town, is my money." So that was the way he felt about money. I've seen Grandpa Bolin get mad a couple of times. He got mad with me a couple of times, which I know about, and one of them was when we were picking cotton. He taught me how to pick cotton early in life. I'd go out and have him pick cotton. Well, early along, and being a mean little boy like I was, I said, well, this cotton would weigh more if I put some green. And so I picked out the green locks out of the bows, put in my bag a bunch of them, and of course he knew what it was, and he found out, because if the sack doesn't look like what it ought to weigh, he knew something was in there. So he really got on me. He said, I am going to whip your butt, boy. If that's the only time well, it's twice he threatened to whip me, but he said, that's not the way to do. And then the second time we were digging a swimming pool in the backyard. Mary and Jane and I, Mary Hall and Jane and I, we decided we'd make a swimming pool. And we had a substantial hole dug in the yard, in the corner of the yard, when Grandpa Bolin got out there, and he threatened to whip us in. He said, I want that hole filled up, and I want it filled up now. Another thing I remember about Grandpa Bolin, he had a big chicken yard in the back of the house, and along the back of it he had pomegranate plants planted. Well, the old toilet was way back, and about 2/3 back into the chicken yard there. So we had to go across a good part of the chicken yard to get to the old toilet. Well, when I had to go, there was one thing that was my nemesis. He had a big old tom turkey there. Grandma Bolin raised turkeys to help her out with her around Christmas, and she would cook them, and she would also sell them. And I'll say some more about the turkeys later. But that old tom turkey, as sure as I started out across there, he would take out after me, and I was deadly afraid of him. So I would wait until he got in the very corner of the chicken yard, and then I would run as fast as my legs would go to the toilet and hope that he wouldn't be there when I had to come out. So that's just another little tidbit we had there.